Hey everyone, and welcome back to dailycryptotalk.com for your daily dose of all things crypto.
That's right.
It is November 20th, 2024.
Big day in crypto.
Huge day in crypto.
Oh.
We have got a really interesting market today, so we're going to jump right in.
Yeah, let's do it.
We are going to take a look, as usual, at Binance's market overview.
Okay.
We also have some very insightful articles.
Cool.
From various crypto news sources and even some expert advice to help you make smart decisions.
Excellent.
Out there in this wild west of crypto.
Wild West is right.
If this is your first time here, don't forget to hit that notification bell
Yeah, definitely.
in the lower right corner so you never miss one of these deep dives.
For sure.
All right, so let's get into it.
Go.
First up, as always, we are going to take a look at Binance's snapshot
Okay.
of what the market's looking like today.
Love it.
So taking a look at the top 10 cryptos by market cap,
All right.
Bitcoin holding steady above $92,000.
Yeah.
Ethereum's kind of bouncing around a little over $3,100, and Dogecoin is still wagging its tail around 39 cents.
Yep.
But one thing that really caught my eye when looking at this is US Schwal.
Oh, yeah.
It had a 24-hour change
Yeah.
of, get this, 2,092%.
What?
Which,
How is that?
but how is that even possible?
I mean, that is a classic example of something called a short squeeze.
Okay.
So imagine a bunch of investors
Okay.
are betting against usual, right? They're expecting the price to drop,
Right.
and then all of a sudden it starts rising.
Oh.
And these investors are forced to buy back the asset to cover their losses.
I see.
And this just pushes the price up even higher.
Wow.
So it's like this buying frenzy fueled by fear and honestly a little bit of FOMO.
So just like a chain reaction of wrong way bettors,
Exactly.
just trying to scramble out,
Yep.
and that pushes the price up.
Yeah, you got it. That's crazy.
Crypto is wild.
So looking at some of the other big movers today,
Okay.
LEOMIA is up 32%.
Really?
LTO is trailing close behind at 23%.
Wow.
On the flip side,
We've got HBAR, which is down about 16%.
Yeah.
And XTZ is down about 13%.
okay.
Taking a look at the volume,
Yeah.
Bitcoin, Doge, and Ethereum still have the highest volume,
As always.
which I guess is to be expected.
Makes sense.
Those are like the big players.
the big dogs.
Well, what does that tell us about the market that they have such high volume?
Well, high trading volume often means
Yeah.
there's increased liquidity, so it makes it easier to buy and sell quickly,
Right.
which is really attractive to short-term traders.
Uh-huh.
But remember, it can also lead to some pretty wild price swings.
Oh, okay. Got it.
So always something to keep in mind.
Okay, so let's move on now and take a look at XRP.
All right.
So Coinpedia FinTech News did an analysis of XRP, and it was talking about this thing called a sideways triangle pattern.
Interesting.
Now, I will admit, I'm more of a word person
Yeah.
than a chart pattern person.
Okay, sure.
Can you explain what exactly that means?
Yeah, so basically, think of it like support and resistance levels kind of create this range that the price of XRP has been bouncing between those levels. They form the boundaries of this triangle.
I see.
And the sideways movement suggests that the market hasn't decided yet which way it wants to go.
It's like it's in limbo.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a tug of war
Oh, okay.
between the buyers and the sellers.
So for someone who might be thinking about trading XRP right now,
Yeah.
what does that mean for them?
Well, the article points out that the $2 mark is a really critical resistance level.
Okay.
If it breaks above that,
Yeah.
it could signal like a really strong upward move.
Interesting.
But if it drops below support,
Uh-oh.
that could lead to further decline.
I see.
So the main takeaway is
Yeah.
really keep a close eye on those levels.
Okay.
Because they can give you some valuable clues about where XRP might be headed.
So these support and resistance levels,
Yeah.
those aren't just for XRP.
No, not at all.
That's something that you can apply to.
To any cryptocurrency.
Okay.
Yeah. These concepts are fundamental.
That's a technical analysis.
Okay, moving on now.
All right.
BuzzFeed is predicting a potential breakout for Solana,
Oh,
and they're citing record high open interest and surging trading volume.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it sounds very promising.
Definitely.
What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, there's definitely some positive momentum building there.
Okay.
This record high open interest on CoinGlass tells us that big players are putting their money where their mouth is.
Uh-huh.
They're betting on Solana's future growth.
Yeah.
And this surge in trading volume, reported by Diffalama, is just adding fuel to that fire.
So can we break that down a little bit more? Like, what do these metrics actually mean?
Yeah, so think of open interest as a measure of how much money is locked into bets on Solana's future price.
Gotcha.
A record high suggests a strong belief in its upward potential.
Okay.
And then think of trading volume as the total value of SOL changing hands.
Okay.
More volume means more activity and interest.
Which can push prices higher.
Makes sense. So Coin BuzzFeed also mentioned something called a cup and handle pattern.
Oh, yes.
On Solana's monthly chart.
I love that pattern.
Now, I have to admit, I need a visual for that.
Okay, so picture this. It looks kind of like a teacup with a handle on the chart.
Okay.
The cup represents a period of consolidation.
Okay.
And then the handle is like a little pullback before a potential breakout.
Okay.
And what's really interesting is historically this pattern has like a 95% success rate for predicting further gains.
Okay, so 95% success rate.
Yep.
What does that mean in terms of like potential price targets?
Well, some analysts are saying we could see Solana hitting anywhere between $360 and $400.
Wow.
Some are even predicting as high as $780.
That's huge.
It is. But remember, crypto is volatile.
Always.
If Solana drops below that $212 support level, it could signal a pullback.
Okay.
So while the outlook is bullish,
Yeah.
manage your risk accordingly.
And you know what?
What's that?
If you want to stay up to date on Solana's performance, make sure to hit that notification bell down below.
Good idea.
And never miss one of these deep dives.
Absolutely.
Okay, before we move on, I want to talk about this story that I saw.
Yeah.
Cryptopolitan reported on this. About this crypto whale.
What a whale?
That has been holding 10% of the Shiba Inu supply since 2020.
Wow. That is a lot of SHI.
That is a ton of XSHI. And what's interesting is that this whale has held strong despite these massive unrealized gains.
That is wild.
So the question is, what do they know?
Right. What are they seeing?
That we don't.
Exactly.
Could this whale be a stabilizing force?
That's an interesting thought.
For Shiba Inu.
Possibly.
Especially considering all this like meme coin frenzy that's happening.
Yeah, Pepe rallying like crazy.
Exactly. The entire meme token market is valued at $115 billion.
That is unbelievable.
It's crazy. So could this whale be like a counterbalance to that?
You know, it's hard to say, but I think large holdings can definitely influence the market. And it's worth pointing out that both Binance and Robinhood hold a significant amount of SI as well.
Wow.
So, you know, it's possible that it's adding to its stability.
But at the same time, crypto is unpredictable.
It is, so we never really know.
So what other factors besides this mysterious whale are impacting Shiba Inu's performance?
Well, the article mentions token burns, which we talked about earlier, and those reduce the supply of SI, which can drive up the price. And then there's the whole Shibarium ecosystem, which aims to improve its functionality and utility. It's all about creating a more robust, attractive ecosystem for investors and users.
I feel like Shiba Inu's always doing something new.
Always.
But before we get too deep into the meme coin madness,
good idea.
I kind of want to step back and look at some broader crypto investing strategies.
Sounds good.
Because we've got some contrasting viewpoints here.
Oh, excellent.
Which always makes for an interesting discussion.
Absolutely. And remember, healthy skepticism and diverse viewpoints are your best allies in the crypto market.
Couldn't agree more.
All right.
Okay, so first up we have Peter Schiff.
Oh, Peter Schiff.
A well-known gold proponent.
Right.
And he has been pretty bearish on Bitcoin.
Not surprised.
So what is he saying?
Well, basically, he argues that Bitcoin lacks intrinsic value, meaning it's not backed by a physical asset or like a real-world use case. He believes it's a speculative bubble that's destined to burst.
Oh, no.
And he even draws parallels to the dot-com bubble of the past.
That's a little scary.
It is.
So what do you think about that?
Well, it's important to consider that Peter Schiff is a huge advocate for gold. So his perspective might be a little bit influenced by his own investment preferences. While his concerns about a bubble are valid, I think it's also important to remember that Bitcoin's use cases are constantly evolving. And its adoption is growing rapidly.
Okay, so now we also have Artizor on the other side of the spectrum here, who's advocating for a buy-the-dip strategy.
Interesting.
Specifically with Bitcoin.
So what does that look like?
So he's saying to use a cost-averaging approach. So, for example, you could invest like a fixed amount whenever Bitcoin dips by a certain percentage. Like, say, 5% or 7%.
Got it.
That way, you're kind of gradually accumulating assets at a lower average price
over
time. So instead of trying to time the market perfectly, you're just kind of spreading out your investment and riding out those lows.
Exactly. It's all about mitigating risk and taking advantage of the volatility.
Makes sense. But we've got these two really strong contrasting viewpoints.
We do.
So what should our listeners do?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is.
It really comes down to your own risk tolerance and investment goals.
Okay.
If you're in it for the long haul and you really believe in Bitcoin, then buying the dip during these corrections could be a good strategy.
Okay.
But if you're a little more risk-averse, it might be wise to wait for clearer signals of a sustained upward trend.
And I think it's important to mention diversification is key.
Absolutely.
We don't want to put all our eggs in one basket.
Especially in crypto.
So what are your thoughts on that?
Building a balanced portfolio is so crucial.
Okay.
So think of it this way. You allocate a portion of your portfolio to these long-term plays, like Bitcoin, Ethereum, maybe even Solana.
Okay.
And then if you're comfortable with a little more risk, you can add a smaller portion for these shorter-term, higher-growth assets.
Okay.
And don't forget, knowledge is power.
That's right.
Make sure you hit that notification bell down below so you don't miss any of our future deep dives where we explore these topics in more detail.
Now, before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, we have to talk about token unlocks.
Okay.
Because these can create both opportunities and headaches.
Oh, for sure.
For traders.
Yeah.
So can you explain what exactly a token unlock is?
Yeah. So basically, a token unlock means that a large amount of tokens that were previously locked up suddenly become available for trading.
So
this can create a surge in supply and potentially put some downward pressure on the price.
So why is this something that our listeners should care about?
Well, we need to be aware of these upcoming unlocks because they can really impact price volatility. I imagine millions of SOL tokens suddenly flood the market. If early investors decide to sell, it can trigger a sharp price drop.
That's kind of scary.
It can be,
So it's like a mini supply shock
to
market.
They got it.
All right, so we're going to explore that further
in
part 2 of our deep dive.
Looking forward to it.
So make sure you hit that notification bell.
Definitely.
So you don't miss it.
For sure.
Okay, last topic. Before we wrap up part 1,
hit me.
I want to talk about this analysis about Ethereum's potential price manipulation.
Oh, interesting.
Now, full disclaimer here, this is pure speculation.
Yeah, it's kind of a conspiracy theory.
Okay, tell me more.
So it all starts with this death cross pattern.
The death cross.
Okay, it's on Ethereum's monthly chart.
Okay.
And this happens when a short-term moving average crosses below a long-term moving average.
I see.
It's usually seen as a bearish signal.
Okay, so that can mean lower prices.
Exactly.
Okay.
But the theory is that some of the big players in the market,
the whales.
Yeah, the whales. They might be manipulating the price to keep this death cross in place.
Oh, wow.
Their goal is to suppress the price and discourage buying until they're ready to do their own pump and dump scheme.
So they're like intentionally keeping the price low.
That's the theory.
To scare off buyers.
Exactly.
Only to like pump it up later and leave everyone else holding the bag.
You got it.
That sounds pretty messed up.
Yeah, it's not cool.
So how are they doing that?
Well, the theory is they're going to keep the price of ETH relatively stable, somewhere between $3,000 and $3,150 until the end of November, just to make sure that the monthly chart shows that death cross.
And then
in early December, the theory suggests that they'll trigger a massive pump.
Oh, wow.
Drive the price way up and attract all these new investors.
Who are like FOMOing in.
Exactly. And then once they've lured in enough buyers, they'll dump their holdings, causing the price to crash.
So they're like creating this fake bull run.
That's the theory.
Tricking people into buying and then crashing the market.
You got it.
Wow.
It's wild stuff.
So is there any way to know for sure?
I mean, it's really hard to say for certain, but it's a theory that's gaining some traction.
Okay, well, what other forces could be at play here? And how do we as investors protect ourselves from this?
That's a great question, and we're going to dig into those in part 2 of our deep dive.
So make sure you've hit that notification bell.
Yeah, definitely hit that bell.
So you don't miss it.
For sure.
We will see you then.
See you there.
Tired of guessing the market moves? Switch to TradingView, the go-to platform for traders. With advanced charting tools, alerts, and a strong community of traders sharing insights, you'll always stay ahead. Join TradingView for free now. Click the link on this page and trade like a pro.
Welcome back, everyone, to part 2 of our crypto deep dive.
We left off talking about ETH.
We did.
And that whole death cross theory.
Yeah, a lot of people are talking about that.
It's kind of unsettling.
I get it.
But before we go too far down that rabbit hole, are there other factors that could be impacting Ethereum's price?
I mean, for sure.
Besides, like, this potential manipulation?
Of course, market sentiment plays a huge role.
Right.
You know, Artizor mentioned that Wall Street cheat sheet.
Yeah.
Well, if we're in those later stages of a bull market, it's normal for some assets to consolidate or even correct a bit.
So maybe it's just a natural part of the cycle.
It's definitely possible.
Okay.
And don't forget about all those external factors.
What kinds of things?
Oh, you know, global economic conditions.
Right.
Any regulatory news. Even the influence of, like, big institutional investors.
So it's really hard to pinpoint
It can be.
one specific thing.
There's a lot to consider.
So how can we protect ourselves from making, like, bad decisions?
Right.
Whether it's manipulation
Yeah.
or just plain old FOMO.
I always say the best defense is a good offense.
Okay.
Stay informed, do your own research, and don't just blindly follow the hype.
It's hard, though.
It is tempting.
Yeah, those games.
Oh, yeah, seeing those numbers go up.
It's hard to resist.
I know, but you got to think critically
Yeah.
and evaluate the fundamentals.
Before you just jump in.
Exactly.
So are there any red flags
Oh, yeah, there are definitely some things to watch out for.
that we should look for?
If a cryptocurrency's price is just skyrocketing with no real reason or, like, fundamental justification, that's a red flag.
Okay.
Proceed with caution.
So basically, if it looks too good to be true,
Exactly.
it probably is.
It probably is. All right, what else? Be skeptical of projects with those, like, overly aggressive marketing campaigns.
Oh, right.
Or, you know, the ones that promise, like, guaranteed returns.
Right, if it sounds too good to be true.
Yeah, you got it.
All right, so switching gears for a moment.
Okay, sure.
Let's talk about something a little more practical.
Love it.
Withdrawing your money from Binance.
All right.
Can you walk us through the steps?
Yeah, it's actually pretty straightforward. First, you log into your account, head over to the withdrawal section.
Okay.
Then you select the currency you want to withdraw.
Right, so like US dollars or euros.
Exactly.
Okay.
And just double check that you have enough in your account.
Makes sense. What's next?
You'll need to add your bank details.
Okay.
Like your account name and number, your bank's name.
Yep.
And the switch code if it's an international transfer.
What if I don't know all that stuff?
Don't worry. Binance has a super helpful guide.
Okay.
It walks you through the whole process.
Perfect. And that.
Once you've got your bank account all set up, enter the amount you want to withdraw, double check those transaction fees, and confirm.
So that's it.
That's like that.
Yep. Binance will process everything. And you should see the funds in your bank account within a few days.
Easy peasy.
Exactly.
Kips.
Yeah. Always double check those bank account details just to avoid any issues.
Right.
And keep in mind, Binance might have withdrawal limits depending on your verification level.
Got it. Okay, let's get back to the altcoin world.
Sounds good.
There's been some chatter about Terra Classic.
LUNC.
Yeah.
What about it?
Do you think it can hit $1?
I mean, LUNC has been on a wild ride.
It has.
But it seems like the community is really passionate.
They are.
About bringing it back to life.
Yeah.
They're focusing on those token burns.
Right, like we were talking about with Shiba Inu.
Exactly.
Remind me again, how do those token burns work?
Okay, so imagine you have a limited edition trading card.
Okay.
And you decide to burn some of them.
Right.
The remaining cards become rarer.
Okay.
More valuable.
I see.
It's the same with tokens.
Okay.
Burning reduces the supply, which can increase demand.
And then drive up the price.
Exactly.
So is it working for LUNC?
Well, it's definitely creating some buzz.
Okay.
Some analysts are seeing bullish signals.
And there's definitely growing community support.
Okay.
Yeah.
But are there any challenges?
Of course.
To getting it to $1?
It's got to break through some pretty significant resistance levels.
Okay.
If there isn't enough buying volume to push through those points, the rally could fizzle out.
So we need to see that volume.
We do.
What else?
Well, the overall crypto market always has an impact.
Right.
If things take a downturn, it's going to drag LUNC down with it.
Okay.
Regardless of the burning.
So it's all connected.
It is. And at the end of the day, it comes down to supply and demand.
Right.
Burning can reduce supply.
Okay.
But to hit that dollar mark, you need that sustained demand.
Okay.
Not just from the community, but ideally from those institutional investors as well.
So is $1 possible?
It's crypto. Anything is possible.
That's true.
But let's be realistic.
Yeah.
The road to $1 is going to be a long one.
Okay.
And probably pretty bumpy.
So don't get your hopes up too high.
Exactly. Manage those expectations and approach with caution.
So if we want to stay up to date on LUNC and all of the other altcoins we're talking about,
definitely
hit that notification bell below.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's circle back to those token unlocks.
Yeah.
We talked about the risks.
The volatility, the selling pressure.
Right.
Yeah.
But are there any potential benefits?
There are, actually.
Okay, tell me more.
Token unlocks can create some buying opportunities.
Oh, really? How so?
So let's say a big unlock happens, causes the price to dip temporarily.
Okay.
If you've done your research and you really believe in that project long term, you might be able to snag some tokens at a discount.
So it's all about timing.
It is.
And strategy.
Exactly. If you're ready for those swings, you can use that volatility to your advantage.
But how do we know when those unlocks are happening?
That's a great question.
Is there like a crystal ball?
I wish there was a crystal ball.
Yeah.
But there are resources like sites like CoinMarketCap, CryptoSlate, even the official cryptocurrency websites.
Okay.
They often provide that information.
So we can like actually track it.
Yeah, you can definitely track the schedule.
All right. So it's all about staying informed and being prepared.
Exactly.
Before we jump into part 3, I just want to remind everyone to hit that notification bell.
Do it.
To stay up to date.
It's the best way to stay informed.
On all things crypto.
Absolutely.
We've got more exciting content coming up.
We do.
You don't want to miss it.
Take control of your crypto journey with Binance, the platform trusted by millions. Trade over 350 coins with low fees and powerful tools for every skill level. Ready to get started? Hit the link on this page and join Binance today.
Welcome back, everyone, to the final part of our crypto deep dive.
We've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
Everything from those market trends to specific coin analysis, even those whale games. That can make crypto so fascinating.
I know.
Before we wrap up, I want to touch on something that I think is super important, and that's the role of emotions in trading.
Oh, yeah. Fear and greed.
Exactly.
They can really mess with your head.
Oh, they can for sure.
I feel like it's even more amplified in crypto.
Oh, absolutely.
Because things move so fast.
247, market never sleeps.
Right. And there's not like those traditional safeguards.
No, and that can create a really emotionally charged environment.
So how do we like keep our emotions in check?
That's the key, right?
Yeah.
You need to have a clear strategy.
Okay.
Realistic goals and a solid risk management plan.
So don't let FOMO or fear dictate your actions.
Exactly. It all starts with understanding yourself as a trader.
Okay.
What's your risk tolerance? What are your financial goals?
Right.
And once you've got that figured out, develop a plan and stick to it.
Don't chase every pump.
No.
And don't panic sell.
No, never panic.
When you see a dip.
Just breathe.
So you're saying it's okay to lose sometimes?
It's part of the game. You're not going to win every trade. The key is to adapt your strategy. Refine your approach and just keep moving forward.
So don't let losses like derail you.
No, they're learning experiences.
Okay, speaking of moving forward.
Yeah.
What about the future of crypto itself?
Right. What's next?
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about regulation.
Always.
And its potential impact.
Regulation is a double-edged sword, you know?
Yeah.
On one hand, it can bring legitimacy.
Right.
Attract institutional investors. Boost mainstream adoption.
Okay.
But on the other hand, it could stifle innovation. Restrict that decentralized nature of crypto.
So what are some things we should be looking out for?
Well, we're seeing different approaches globally.
Okay.
Some countries are embracing crypto.
Right.
Others are being a bit more cautious.
And here in the U.S. Feels like the SEC is still kind of figuring it out.
They are. They're trying to decide how to classify these assets.
Right. Are they securities? Are they commodities?
Exactly. And how to regulate them accordingly.
It's complicated.
Very complicated.
All right. So before we wrap up this episode, what are the 3 most important takeaways?
Ooh, 3 takeaways. All right.
For our listeners.
Number 1, the crypto market is constantly changing.
Always.
What's hot today might be old news tomorrow.
Okay.
Stay informed. Stay adaptable.
Number 2.
Don't underestimate the power of emotions.
Yeah.
Fear and greed can really cloud your judgment.
Okay.
Have a plan, manage your risk, stick to your strategy.
And number 3.
Diversification is key.
Yes.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Spread that risk.
Exactly. Build a balanced portfolio
Yeah.
that aligns with your goals. And remember, knowledge is power.
Any final words of wisdom?
The crypto world is full of opportunities and challenges.
Yeah.
Embrace the learning process. Stay curious, and don't be afraid to explore.
And most importantly, have fun.
Yes, crypto is exciting.
It is.
If you're passionate about it, there's no limit to what you can learn and achieve.
Well said. And of course,
If
if you want to stay up to date on all things crypto,
Yeah,
make sure you subscribe
definitely.
and hit that notification bell.
So you never miss an episode.
We will be back soon with more insights and analysis
To help you navigate the crypto world.
Thanks for joining us, everyone.
See you next time.
The best investment you can make is in yourself. Keep learning, keep growing, and we'll see you in our next deep dive.